What's up, tubers? Teal here, Simplistic Fishing. Can you believe that we are already on our fourth Google Earth video for Cedar Creek Reservoir? This one is taking us some time. Even though it's not that huge of a lake, there's just lots of stuff to cover. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Again, we're on our fourth video. So let's go ahead and keep trucking along. We're going to have one more video after this one for Google Earth. So we'll actually have 5 total Google Earth videos for this one. And then we're going to switch over and use the Navionics boating app and look at all that contour stuff. So stick around. Let's go ahead and get through these couple more, see what else we can find. Here we go. Video number 4, Cedar Creek Reservoir, Texas. Let's roll. Here we are back on Cedar Creek. Let's go ahead and just zoom in here just a little bit so you can see what it kind of looks like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to point you out over here to the left-hand side. If you haven't watched any of our lake breakdown videos before, I always like to start off with this and just kind of walk you through what we've done here. So basically, it's a complete lake breakdown, and it depends on really what we find on how our folder structure is going to be set up. But to start off with, first thing you're going to see out here is channels and ditches. So you're going to be able to go and see all these tracks, see these green lines that you see on the screen. Those are going to line you up perfectly with inside the creek channels. And we're able to find those because when we pull the water down, we can see those channels very clearly with the imaging, and that gives us the ability to mark them. We also have debris and cover. So lots of different things like brush that we found from pulling the water down, shell beds, ditches, just all kinds of different stuff that's out there that you can take a look off. Some stuff I didn't even know what it was, but definitely it looked like something that, something that was different. So if it looks different, that's typically a higher percentage area for you to go fish around. We also have several different offshore spots that are out here. So basically what we're going to do once we get done going through this Google Earth section is we're going to switch over to the Navionics boating app, and we're going to pull up the contours on this lake and point out why we feel like these are high percentage areas. And really, they're all going to be based on the structure that's out there and the contours that we review. We also have ponds and ditches. Not too many ponds and ditches in this lake. There's a few. Those are going to be these orange colors that you see up here. So you can see them up here. And then there's a pretty big ditch that's way up on the north side. We also have several ramps on Cedar Creek Lake, and you guys have heard me talk about it. And if you haven't, I'm going to tell you right now, the boat ramp pattern is definitely a pattern you can run. I'm not going to say you can run it at all times of the year, but at certain times of the year, I'm telling you, it is a fabulous pattern to run. And if you can really get on a good pattern, you could go crazy here if you were on the boat ramp pattern, because you have every one of them marked. So you can just hop from one to the other to the other to the other and have a very effective day. We also have several different areas where there's rock on this lake. Now, a lot of the rock on Cedar Creek, because we have a lot of seawalls and things like that, is the rock is really close to the seawalls. So if the lake is really far down, a lot of this rock is not going to be in play. But for the most part, when the lake is at normal pool or fairly close to normal pool, a lot of this rock is going to be shallower rock that's going to come into play. And we're going to talk about it here in a minute as well. And then last but not least, there's just a couple things that I marked for you for trees and danger. Originally, when we came up here and we broke down Cedar Creek, I actually had a path that took you all the way up to this river, but I think we ended up getting rid of it because it was just a little bit too shady, and I didn't want anybody to get in trouble, with their boat or anything. And I took my boat up there as well, and I just didn't feel comfortable up there, so I took it down. But know that there are a lot of trees, a lot of trouble up here on the northern side. And then we've just got this one little spot down here where there's a little stump field, just saying be careful down there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and pull all of this up. I'm going to take off the offshore stuff because we don't need to look at that today. And in the first 3 videos, we basically started at the dam. We worked our way up these little pockets or these coves, whatever you want to call them, right in here. I'm having a hard time speaking today. But basically, we went up here. We went up this little side pocket here as well. And we went way back in here. We checked all this out. And we actually finished the last video. We went up in here and took a look at this creek channel that was up here by these docks. Now, right now, it just looks like a muddy, chocolatey mess. But if I pull this back to 2014 right here, you're going to see that we have a really good creek channel that runs through there as well. So that's what we talked about last time. And we actually came down and we ended right here on this point. So what we're going to do today, we're going to start here on this point. Now I've got the water already pulled down to 2014. So I'm just going to move this over a little bit to give us some more room. And we're going to go ahead and just get started. So as we move down, again, I guess I should go back. I'm on 2014 right now. I'm probably going to fluctuate a little bit between 2014 and 2016 when I can find it. Right now, it's just keeping me on 2014. But those seem to be the two best years of when not really good years, but years when the lake was really low. So we're going to come around that point. Now we're just south of the bridge up here, up south of 334. When we come into this little pocket that's over here, just a couple things that are over here that you may want to take a look at. One is if you look right at the end of this boat ramp, there's a big old brush pile that someone put way out there. Now, I don't know if that was during that construction or whatever they're doing here with this trailer, but it looks suspicious. So I would definitely go check it out. Community ramp right there as well. As you move over here, just some more of that shallow rock that we talked about in the previous videos, getting really up close to the seawalls. But it's definitely a good pattern. When the water is up, you can get up close to those seawalls and basically just fish right down the side of them with crankbaits, shaky heads, lipless traps, chatterbaits, all kinds of stuff that you have options there. And that can be really good. You can actually catch some really nice fish doing that as well. Again, it's a seasonal thing though, so they're not always going to be up there. As we move over here, we get off this really long point, and this looks really good. And I got to be honest with you guys, I've fished Cedar Creek quite a bit. And every time I come up here, I believe I've caught fish up here, but I just don't have any confidence once basically I get to this, pretty much to this bridge forward. I just lose all my confidence. Every time I've gone there, the water's been really, really chocolatey up there. Unfortunately, it seems like I always go when it's cold, so the water's cold as well. And I just haven't had a lot of luck north of this bridge. But I do like this area right in here. I like this little point that comes off. You can see it's got some pretty good cover and stuff like that. Obviously, it comes up pretty high. Let's pull it to 2022, and you can see, you'll be able to see the top of it. You can see kind of some of the rock on it, but that's a really long point that comes out here. So I'm sure you could find some pretty good stuff on that point. And I'm going to pull this back to 2014 so we can see it as a whole. Now, also over here, I didn't notice this the first time, but I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a big laydown or what, but that looks really interesting. And also another spot that's right in here too. So really, I guess if I'm coming over here next time, I think I fished the backside of it for the most part last time because the wind was blowing so hard. But if you could get over here on this side, you've got some cover right in here. You've got whatever the heck that is. Looks like a giant laydown. And then you've got this really cool little rock pile that's over here too. So definitely high percentage areas to find fish right off a point with a rock pile, random rock pile out there. Got to be good for sure. So we're going to keep moving up here. We're going to get up here and just take a look at a couple things. We got some more rock that's right here along this rock, right here along the bank line there. Some more right here. You know, those little points can be good. Fishing that dock's probably going to be a pretty good dock being right there on that point as well. We've also got some more shallow rock up here around the seawalls. Some more going on over there on that side as well. And then if you get up here, you're going to see the same type thing. This rock's getting a little bit further off though. See how it's pretty far off. So if I bring that water up, yeah, that's shallow, but that's definitely fishable water for sure. And that could be a really good area for them to collect, being right off the edge of that point. So again, just good high percentage places to go look. Now, as we move back in here, of course, we've got a little marina back in there, Sandy Shores RV Park. Not sure if it's a marina, but you know what I mean. It's an RV park. So didn't see too much going on back in through there. But over here off of this point, we got some more pretty good rock coming off the edge of this point. That would be interesting to take a look at. And then you get back in here and you get back to this boat ramp back here. I've used this boat ramp a couple times. Really like the boat ramp. It's a good boat ramp. And right here, right when you put in, you can fish this bridge. And this bridge is pretty effective. So fishing right in here around all this riprap and stuff, that has been a good area for me to fish. I've also came over here and fished around here, but honestly, I came up here maybe once or twice past the north side of that bridge, and it was so chocolatey that I just turned around and came back. So I don't have a lot of experience on this side of the lake, but it would be something I'd like to explore. And I'd actually like to hear from you guys that are watching this video, especially the locals. Is this side of the lake good? I mean, I spend most of my time down by the log cabin area, but I've always wanted to go explore this side of the lake. I just run out of patience every time I come up, or we're pre-fishing for a tournament. And I don't really have time to be going and burning a bunch of time trying to find new water. So, would be interested, very interested in your comments on what's up here. Is this actually good fishing up here, or is this kind of not really that great of an area to be fishing? So let's go ahead and just talk about what we found up here, though, because someday I am going to come up here and just explore all of this. But we've got some debris that's back here behind this dock. If I pull this up, you'll see it. You can see it's like these big concrete things. You know fish are going to be attracted to that stuff. You've got some more rock here along these seawalls. And then as we get back in here up to the top, we've just got just some random little rock areas. So right here, a big little rock area that comes out way off the seawall down there. Up here, you got kind of the same thing. This little rocky patch right in here, another rocky patch right there, another one right there as well. That one goes along kind of the whole bank line right there. And then a little bit more right there. But again, all of these are in play when that water's up, right? We're looking at the water when it's way down. Now, when the water's up normal, you're not even going to know that that rock is there unless you're paying attention to your graph and you just know that it's there. So let's go back to 2014. Let's keep moving up. We talked about that. Now, this was an interesting thing. I don't know what this is. This looks like an old road. It could be an old ramp. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks awesome because it comes out. It's a very hard spot, right? So you get a really good hard area with not a lot around it. So you can definitely see them being attracted to that. And you got this ramp that's over here as well. So fish around this, see if there's anything relating to those. I'm telling you, they like that kind of stuff. It's a hard bottom, and anytime they can find that hard bottom, that seems to be where they're attracted to. So we're going to keep coming up here around this point. We've got some more rock around the seawalls in this area as well. We've got a little hidden boat ramp back in here. Can't hardly see it, but it's right there. It's got some pretty good rock around it as well. Then we've got another boat ramp that's kind of hidden right in here. Not really hidden, but just over here. Actually, that marker's a little bit off. It needs to be moved down a little bit, but you got some pretty good rock around here too, right around that ramp. And then as we move up here, this is the area that I told you I want to kind of check out because you see it when you're driving down there on 175. And, if you're like me, every time I see a body of water, I start looking at it like wondering where the good place is to fish there. So I've always thought about this area. But as we get back in here, look how shallow this is. It's pretty shallow. But you kind of this could be an old pond right here, possibly. It's hard to tell. But it's this huge giant flat, right? You can tell it's pretty shallow. But there's some good stuff here. Like this right here. This looks like it could be pretty good. This little point that comes far out. I don't know what that is off the end of it, if those are fence post or what the heck that is, but you need to be really careful right in there. I need to mark that. I'll mark that on the card and put that on there for you. But right in here, I mean, that may go all the way out here, right? That could come out further. And depending on your depth here, this could end up being pretty good. You've got a creek channel that comes back here. This is what you see when you come off 175. You look back in here and it just looks like you need to get a kayak and just go in there and explore is what it looks like. You can't get back there with the bass boat because you get stopped right here. And I've never actually been back in here, but I'm telling you, this looks like it has some potential. You just have to be brave enough to come back in here and try to explore it. We've also got some brush that's back in here, right off the edge of this island. There's a little brush pile that's out here. And then you've got another channel that comes right through here. Here's that main creek channel. But again, you're blocked right there, so you can't really get underneath there. But you do have a pretty good channel going right in there. Got another little, somewhat of a channel coming right in here with some rock around this area too. But when you look at this right now, it's in 2014. The water's really low. I really liked that area. I wish I would have marked it for you guys the first time. But we pull this up now, we get back to full pool. Especially that point has totally disappeared. Those channels have disappeared, all of that. So I'm saying got to have some potential back here. It's just, I think the biggest challenge back here is just the fluctuation. It seems to get really shallow back in here, and it seems to get really muddy really fast if it's windy. All right, so as we move back up in here, we're also going to see some more stuff. We got a little bit of rock right around in here. Now, you're going to have to be super careful up here because if I zoom in, you're going to see this. There's just trees galore everywhere. So I've just kind of put markers in here to say, hey, watch out. You're going to come up in here and you're going to get into a whole mess of trees that could cause you some problems. But there are some tree lines in here too. Like right here, this is a full tree line that you could actually work your way down the tree line and back. And then over in here, this is just some huge, I don't know if it's an old road or what it was that went right through this whole area. And you could see it. I marked it. And you can see the little almost like an old railroad track or something. I can't really tell, but right here you can see little pillars as well. So you're gonna have to be super careful back in here. Very, very shallow. But as you get back in here, if you get far enough back in here, you can actually get back up in here to some more channels and stuff that come up here. So here's the main channel that kind of brings them all down. But you can see here, you got really 3 different areas of creeks that are coming in. Again, they're all blocked off, so that's about as far as you can go. But you've got this huge flat that's up here with the creek channels and everything. So I want to think that it would be a good place, but again, I get scared every time I try to come up here. I don't want to mess up my boat. I've also got a creek channel that comes up here as well. Be really careful. Tons of trees. There's a pipeline that's back here. So now we're actually switched over. We're coming down the west side. And as we move over here, of course, lots of trees. I'm telling you to be super careful. But if you come back in here, there's a pipeline that comes right down through here. In fact, that might be part of the pipeline too. And you've heard me talk about it on other breakdowns if you watched any of mine, but those pipelines can be sneaky good. So you definitely want to check them out, at least scan over them and see if anything's there. Now, as we move further down, we're not going to see too much coming down this bank line, but there are a couple areas. You got this little area here. We've got a collection of rocks. Again, this is a shallow area. You've also got rocks up in here too. I honestly don't know if I'd spend too much time messing around with that kind of stuff. I might come back in here though, depending on the time of year, and see if this creek channel's flowing. So you've got some pretty good oxygen and stuff. You could get some fish collecting back in there around that channel. Also right in here, this little area right in here, like on the corner of that little dock right in there, that's kind of stuff I'd be looking for, as well as that creek channel. Then back in here, you kind of got a little ditch or a little pond that comes through here, so you could fish around those little pond dams and stuff and just see if you have anything. You got some pretty good ditches over here that may have somewhat, I'll call them Texas ledges, not much of a ledge, but just enough a ledge to where it has some type of a drop and the fish may be attracted to it. Then as we get out here and we get on the backside of this, and I have fish back here, and caught a few fish back here, nothing too crazy. But when you get on the backside of this island, you got some rock that's around these docks right in here and right in here. So that all look good. Of course, the riprap's always good. Anywhere you find riprap on a lake. And we get out here out into the middle. I fished down this. This is where I had some success, but I had some success out here off the edge of this point. We also had some rocks that are right in there. Again, here's your a little bit more riprap. That's not that good of riprap though. And then you've got all this shallow rock all around this whole little island that comes out here. Very shallow, very, very shallow, but lots of rock and stuff that's around there. All right, so let's go ahead and swing over. Let's keep going down the left side, and we're going to start over here. Now, this is an interesting spot. I came up here and fished this. I actually liked this area because it's pretty well wind protected. I didn't catch anything when I came up here, but I've only been up here twice. But it looks interesting, right? Because you've got a pond dam that comes out here, and you've got a really good opening, a real good pinch point that's right here and right here where it says ditch. And then you've got that riprap up there too. So it definitely sparked my interest to come up here. We also have a pond dam that's over here. So this dock right here could be really good. And you've got some, if it's been raining and stuff, you got some potential oxygen flow coming to the water from this ditch as well, which is going to, make that area a lot better for the fish to be hanging out in. Some strange looking ditches and stuff like that. Nothing I could really mark for you as we come down this bank line. Now we're going to come around these islands. And don't forget, if you're saying, hey, you're skipping over the offshore stuff, I know I'm going to come back to it and talk to you guys about it. I'm just kind of showing you what I found from the Google Earth perspective. Coming down these bank lines, not much. There's 1,000 docks to fish, plus another 1,000 if you want to on Cedar Creek. So you can just go dock fishing. But as we come down through all those docks, here is a really good spot. Notice how we just went down the bank line, right? We just went down the bank line, probably almost half a mile, maybe not that far, but somewhere in there. But we went from basically that bridge all the way down to here, and we found no cover. The only cover we could find were docks, right? There was no rock, there were no trees that we could see or anything like that. And then all of a sudden you hit into this spot that has a potential of maybe a little creek coming through it. And now all of a sudden you got a bunch of debris right off the edge of a point. Bingo, that's going to be a higher percentage area. It's the first real good place for them to find some cover. There's actually a ramp here that we missed too. So you could fish that and then come over and fish around this ramp as well. So as we move down, we're going to see some more stuff. Now we're starting to get into at least a little bit of cover. We got a little bit of rock back here behind these docks. This looks like a pretty good brush pile. Whoever put that there, probably the dock owners here want to shoot me because I'm giving it away, but look at that brush pile. It just looks really good. Got a little bit of shallow rock up and around in here, a ramp up in here as well. We fished around in this area and didn't have a lot of luck, but of course that could have been a seasonal thing, could have been what we were using, all that good stuff, but just take that into consideration. We also have some ramps over here, more ramps, and this little rock crop out. These little things like this, these are the things that I look for, the things that are really unique that most people are just going to fly right past. And those are the areas that I'll really spend a lot of time on. So like that right in there, that looks really good. Looks really good, actually. And then as we're going to keep moving down, we're going to see a couple more things here. We got another little brush pile here, but this thing's like stupid shallow water. So I'm not sure if you'll want to fish that brush pile or not. You do have some pretty good debris like tires and stuff right here. You got this ramp that comes in. This looks like a community ramp. Back out and show you guys where I'm at. So I'm right in this little pocket here. So as we come into this little pocket, you got that ramp. Now I've lost myself. Here's the ramp. Power lines there, right? Ramps right underneath the power lines. And there's a whole bunch of debris and tires and stuff like that right in this area right here. Literally, you could sit here and fish off, which is probably why they put it there. You can fish off this little pier and be able to catch fish, probably some good crappie and stuff in there too. As we move on down, more rocks, right? Rocks all along the seawall. Another little personal ramp there. Some more rocks right in here around this ramp. This one looks interesting. Some pretty healthy little rock right in that area. Again, pull it up to 2022 and it looks pretty good. Looks like something you may actually want to fish. So keep moving down. We got some more rock there around the bank line. We're going to see the same thing. These are just rocky areas behind these docks that we were able to find. Here's some more boat ramps. Again, just that rock behind those docks. I won't make you dizzy by zooming in. But if you were fishing those docks, maybe just hit the docks that have the rocks behind them and see if that's a good pattern. It definitely could be. And if that's the case, then bingo, you got everything you need here. You can just start rolling with it. But here again, just marking those areas. Anywhere we found really good rock around these docks, right in there, right in here. Here's another ramp, a couple more ramps. Right in here, you can see all this rock. So what you do is you get your boat in super shallow. I mean, super stinking shallow, and you get parallel with that seawall and you fish it down just like you would riprap or anything like that. Here's some more rock there, some more ramps, more rocks. I mean, we just got lots of different areas where you just got these little sections of rocks. There's another little personal ramp there that barely comes out. Another ramp way back in there, you can see some more rocks, a little brush pile back in here we could take a look at. It's going to be pretty shallow, but it looks pretty healthy, and it's right outside the edge of that dock, which is usually right where they're going to be, just right outside the edges or to the side. You got rocks here. This little rocky area in here looks good too. Yes, I am obsessed with rock, and yes, I think bass are obsessed with rock as well. We have some rock here. This little crop out here, this looks cool. I have no idea what the heck that is. I think that's where they cut it in. They put their boats in there and breaks the waves right in there. But that area right in there could be really good. And you got some pretty good rock basically from right here all the way to here. So that fishing that whole spot right in there can be a productive spot for you. Let's pull this back, show you where I'm at so I don't lose you guys. We're right here. We're coming into this little pocket right here. We're going to swing around and we're just going to take a look at what's out here. So again, some more shallow rock. Those piers, if they're still there, those are going to be good, but I don't know if they are. Let's pull it up to 2022. Yeah, and they're not there anymore. They built a dock there. I was going to say, if those piers were still there, definitely that is money. I love fishing those old dock piers. They do really well for me. We also have some more ramps back in here. I didn't see too much back in there. We got ramps here, a little more rock back in here, right around this little point. And then as we move out of this pocket, we're going to get a little bit further out. We got another ramp and then some pretty decent rock that's right on the edge of this point, which that may come out a little bit further. It looks like it comes out to about right in here. And again, pull the water up. That should be, 3 or 4 feet deep at least. So let's go down. We are going to stop right here on this point. So let's go down and let's just finish out what we're out here. And then we'll come back one more video and hopefully have Cedar Creek wrapped up for the Google Earth side. And then it'll probably take us a video or two to get through the Navionics side. So let's keep going until we get down to that point. But right here, we've got this rock right in here. And this one looks good. Look how it's pretty big area of rock, comes out pretty far. Again, pull that up to 2022. You don't even know that rock is there because the water's up high enough, and the water's not even at full pool here. So that's going to be a good spot. We're going to go back to 2014 again. and just keep coming down. The next thing, I really like this break. These break walls are awesome. Love fishing around the break walls. You definitely want to fish around them and just see what you can find there. And this one's coming off a point. It's got a little bit of debris and stuff around this point. I don't know what this black stuff is. Could just be birds, but it could be other debris and stuff like that. But this area in here would be a really good area to go take a look at, scan around, all that good stuff. This is what it looks like when it's at full pool, so it looks a lot different, but definitely go spend some time there, see what you can find there. All right, then back in here, we just got another ramp. And I don't think we found too much, coming through here, but we're going to end right here at this point. So let's just talk about what we see here. Again, a couple more ramps, nothing too crazy back in here to mark for you guys, but some really healthy rock right here. It starts right on this corner and goes to basically that dock. So fishing this area right here, right, focusing a lot of attention on especially that, but these docks as well, and then anything on the inside here, that's going to be a really good area to take a look at. And then last but not least, we're going to come out here. We're going to get off around this point, check out this massive rock pile that they put here to block the waves and stuff from this little dock. Well, that's a good place for fish, especially when it's off of a point. So I'm thinking right in here, right just there in that area, and also right over here off the edge of the point here. So we're going to go ahead and finish right here off the edge of that point. When I come back next video, we're going to start there on that point and work our way down to the dam, and that will finish us up for Cedar Creek. And then we're going to switch over to the Navionics mobile app, and we're going to take a look at the contours on this lake and see what we can find from an offshore standpoint. So guys, I really appreciate you watching the videos. Please make sure to go out and check out our site, simplisticfishing.com. We have 117 different lakes out there now that we've broken down. We're still trying to catch up on all the videos, but you can get the points right now and take full advantage of them. Just go out there, simplisticfishing.com, and search for the lake that you want. And please make sure to go out and check out our sponsor, Omnia Fishing. The link is in the description below. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.